Okay, the science of creativity. So I got that, haven't even looked in it. But I got it because before that, there was the science of happiness.
Ooh.
And that was awesome. So I was feeling very addicted to my phone somewhat recently.
Sure.
Like I would wake up and before I'd open my eyes, I'd grab my phone and check social media and like just felt addicted.
Yeah.
You know, I to just my phone and work and all of that. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to go to Whole Foods without my phone. Like that was a big deal for me. I was going to leave my phone and just go to the grocery store and buy some apples without a fucking phone. It doesn't sound that difficult, but for me, who's addicted to the phone, it's just so, what is it, compulsive?
Yeah.
Is that the right word? Yeah. So I left it at home. I went there and I just like was really enjoying walking down the fresh produce aisle, getting the fucking bananas, like fucking smelling the fucking strawberries. It was beautiful. And then as I'm checking out and I'm totally present, just saying hi to everyone, not like looking at my fucking phone.
Yeah.
And then I see the science of happiness at the checkout stand. And I was like, wow, that's meant for me.
It's a sign. Yeah, totally.
That bullshit. Yes, I did. And I bought it and I sat outside Whole Foods with my smoothie and I just read probably like 15, 20 pages in it. And it was amazing. I learned so much and it was so inspiring. And one of the things in the science of happiness is taking a internet phone detox and taking, real time away from that because we're in this distracted right age where there's just constant, emails, texts, social media. It's nonstop.
Yeah, I also feel like though there's a pressure for mindfulness. Like if I don't have my phone for a certain amount of time, if I went to a Whole Foods, I would feel like, oh God, now I have to smell the bananas, or I have to like this idea of without being my phone, then I have to be this version of myself that I'm not.
Right.
Like I don't think I'm that. I try to be mindful when I can be, but I don't feel that I inherently am. Like I find that I'm just thinking about things or whatever, and I'd almost rather do that than be like, wow, produce.
Totally. Yeah. But I mean, I think that I wanted to do that at that moment. I was like, okay, I want to be present because I found I was so much thinking about the past or the future. And I was having a lot of anxiety. So it was a kind of a, test to see like, can I truly be present? But it's not natural. It doesn't feel natural.
Right. Did the book tell you anything separate from from what you sort of knew?
No, well, I mean, I think that it, now I forgot everything in the book with Science of Happiness. What were some interesting things? We read it.
You were like, we're going to read this book, and then you made us read it.
I made us, and I was like, and we will be happy.
But I tuned out.
We're going to read the Science of Happiness. It's going to make us happy.
Yeah, I didn't.
So he was like, I didn't want
to read it.
Being happy.
I didn't want to read it.
Step 1.
And I'm like, you're making me unhappy.
Yeah, I'm really unhappy right now.
You're really upsetting me.
Yeah, I did kind of force you, but then you were super into it in the end. But okay, so what did it say? It said, doing your purpose makes you happy. Being present was a huge fucking thing.
Right,
it was like being here now. Like these conversations, I'm happy in these conversations now. If I'm thinking about tomorrow or what I did yesterday, I'm
elsewhere. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I'm not as, I don't know. So that, and then, being connected. We're social primates, so we're meant to be connected and, talk to each other rather than isolate. And I feel like, too, there's this huge thing. I mean, I personally will, if it's up to me, I'll just isolate
same
all
here.
the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You do. So you identify with that.
Well, I'm a checklist person, so I do a checklist where I hang out socially with 2 people a week other than my boyfriend. And that's I try to fill that. Yeah.
Isn't that hilarious that we need a checklist to do that?
Yeah.
Wow.
What is wrong with our brains that will just be like, you're fine here, just binge watching Netflix by yourself. Postmates, it's all good, girl. Your phone is your friend.
Do you do it, or is it just a wish? Like I should do it, but I don't. Really
And why?
No, I do. Yeah, if it's on my checklist, I'm
Can I
much
get
more
on
up to
that
do it.
checklist? Like once every couple of months or something?
I do it for that. I do it for like water. I do it for
What?
vegetables, but
Oh,
I
to
never make
drink
the vegetables
water.
one. Yeah,
So yeah, tell me everything that's on this checklist.
it's those three things. It's water, social interaction, and vegetables.
And how long have you been doing this for?
2 years.
Oh wow!
And have you stuck to it?
I've stuck to
Pretty
it. With vegetables, I'm very hit and miss. And I gave myself a break from the water for about a month, and then I felt
Just
like shit.
no
so
water for a month.
I just like very sparingly had water. Yeah,
Why is it so difficult to drink water?
I don't know.
It's so difficult.
I
It's
know.
brutal. It's
I
brutal.
know. You have to force yourself.
I try to do
Yeah.
like a liter when I first wake up, so that it's just done, and then I can like anything
that's a
on
good
top of
idea.
that is. I know you're supposed to do two, but I have to pee all the time when I do two.
I know. It's really hard to drink water. Listen to this first world part. It is so hard to drink water. Oh, I just like have this Evian bottle and I can't even finish it. It's so hard. It's so hard. I know. Oh my God. It's a challenge. Oh, staying present at Whole Foods. It's the worst. It was really hard. It was really hard for me because I was thinking about. I don't know. Like, I have nothing. Okay, so what's been going on? I feel like the last time. So we met through social media.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
When did we hang out? Was that like 2 years
Oh
ago?
my God, I can't accept that was 2 years ago.
Right?
Was it?
I think so.
Oh wow!
It was a while.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow. And we met at M Cafe, and we had like a 3-hour conversation.
It was so fun.
Yeah,
I thought
it
you were
really
so
was.
graceful.
Oh, you too.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. So where did you grow up?
Orange County, but not in like a great part. I grew up in
Okay.
Garden Grove. Sublime has a song making fun of it called Garbage Grove, so that's kind
Really?
of more, in tune with what it is.
Stop. So is it by like Laguna Beach and that?
Laguna Beach is like 40 minutes away. It's near Anaheim and Cypress.
Oh, wow.
It's we lived next to like a bunch of old people, and then it was us that we lived on the corner, in the corner house.
Whoa. And who did you live with?
My mom, my dad, my grandma, my grandpa, my 3 older brothers, our 3 dogs, and 2 turtles.
Whoa.
Oh.
Yeah.
And are you close with your brothers?
Super close, yeah, super close with all of them. I think I like pride myself on the fact that I think I'm the one that each of them are closest to. Like I'm the sibling that each of them are closest to.
Yes.
And yeah, I love them all. They're wonderful.
Yeah. And dogs. You had 3 dogs and 2 turtles.
Yeah,
How was that?
it was good. I was scared of one of the dogs, and then another one. Like they died in like a good time to where it wasn't like it hit us all at once. You know.
Yeah, they died separately.
Yeah.
So you weren't scared of the turtles.
No, I was not scared of the turtles. I'd hold the
It'd be
turtles.
funny if you were scared of the turtles.
No, I liked the turtles.
Yeah. And what about your parents? Were you close with your parents?
I was incredibly close with my mom, like
Yeah.
inseparable.
Yeah.
Lived for my mom, and then my dad I was not close with at all.
Really?
Yeah, very,
Why?
very.
Why?
cool.
And if anything is like too personal, because we always go deep.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
So just be like, "Fuck you, Laura. I'm not fucking talking about that. I have no problem."
I have
Just
to say that to her like 5 times a day.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Like, so, but
Cool.
we really just talk about everything. But
Yeah.
obviously, if there's anything you're not comfortable with, that's totally fine.
It's cool.
But
Right.
why? So why weren't you close with your dad?
I just don't think we had any. We just were. I don't think that just because you are in that same house, you necessarily have personal chemistry, and I don't think
Totally.
we did at all. I think we were just very, very different.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Did you ever get the feeling like he just doesn't like me?
Oh yeah, every day. Oh my god, no, every day.
Stop.
I still think it. I still be like,
Really?
God, I just
Yeah.
couldn't do it. And then I'd be like, then I'd try to do,
Yes,
I'd
yes.
be at a dance recital or something and be
Yeah.
like, Dad's gonna love me, but I
Yes.
never felt.
Never.
No.
Girl, we have the same dad.
Oh.
It's like, wait, but did you? But,
You say
no,
that too.
it's
We
so true.
might. Yeah.
It's like there's nothing I could have done. It's
Yeah.
like he just didn't like me. It doesn't mean that he doesn't love me, but he didn't really like me.
Right. Totally.
You know? And it was like there was nothing we could do because we are just who we are.
Sure.
So, but your brothers, was he close with them?
No, none of my brothers were
Really?
close. The closest was my eldest brother, Marcus. He's 9 years older than me, and it was like the closest that it came to what you would think of as like a traditional, really healthy, good father-son relationship. But even so, that wasn't spectacular.
Right. So he didn't like any of you.
No.
Okay.
No. It was a rough time for him. Yeah.
Wow. Was it drinking or just maybe, I don't know.
No, so I grew up Mormon, so no drinking. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there was, very tumultuous between my mother and father, but no like drinking or drugs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so interesting. So that's not...
This, okay.
My dad was like, you want some of this joint? Laura, when you try acid, you gotta be in a nice small room, okay? You can't be with a lot of people. Dad, I don't want to try acid. You gotta try acid. Oh my God. Hey, fuck those cops. Fuck those cops.
That's so accurate. That's so scarily accurate.
Yeah.
And you got to do the thing.
Oh, yeah.
He always does
Well,
this.
he's basically Kramer.
Oh, great.
Like, he's just like that all the time. He's like 6'4", and just like,
Very jolty. Yeah.
Marilyn, I didn't see it. Fuck. My joint.
Do you have siblings?
Yeah, so I have 2 older sisters.
Oh.
Yeah, and so, so yours are all older, so we're both the babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm really close with, I'm close with both of them. I mean, they live in different cities. One's in San Francisco and one's in Chicago, so
Sure.
it's kind of hard to, like, stay in touch so much, but... Yeah, and again, super close with my mom. Like, love her, sweetest woman ever.
Yeah.
Not so much with dad. Yeah.
What was their relationship like?
Oh my God, they would fight a lot, but like, there's something strangely cute, like that they worked through it.
Yeah.
Even though it's like, I mean, we're like, every time we go back, it's just like, Dan, what the fuck are you doing, Dan? That's where I get the flicking off from, is my dad.
He does that all the time.
He's just constantly flicking everyone. Every time I try and film, he flicks me off, or he threatens to sue me.
Yeah, he threatens to sue you.
Yeah, if I try and
Oh
put
my
him
God.
in the video. I could sue you for that. Well, okay, Dad. You'd have to borrow money from me to sue me.
Oh my God.
Yeah, can I borrow for legal fees?
My mom's was always, when I tried to put my mom in, like, I used to do a lot of Vines, and I would try to put her in them, and she'd be like, I have fans too. And I'd be like, what do you don't want to do? It's fine if you don't want to do it, but I don't, like, you don't, okay, whatever. I don't know why she would say that.
Like, your mom would say, I have fans too.
She would, like, scream at me, like, I have fans too. And I thought, like, if you want fans, start a Vine or something.
So
but
did
yeah.
your mom, was she ever an actress, or did she want to be?
She wanted to be an actress, yeah. That was why I
Really?
became one, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so this is fascinating to me. So because you started young.
I was 6, yeah.
Oh my god. So you were fucking SAG when you were 6.
I SAG by 7, but yeah.
You were SAG eligible.
Had to
by
get it
6.
exactly.
Okay. Yeah. So tell me about that.
Yeah, my mom wanted to act when she was younger, and she
Yeah.
was very much like a starstruck person. Whenever she and my father fought, she would always scream at him that she could have potentially married Chris Knight, who was Peter Brady from the Brady Bunch, or Donny Osmond. So that was sort of her, like, that was definitely what her world revolved around. And then she put me in acting when I was
Donnie.
6.
Did you hear that like every week?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And then she would listen to his music, like, to taunt my dad.
Really? So wait, what was their relationship?
A nightmare.
Really?
Like, horrible.
Yeah.
So bad. Just screaming constantly every day.
Really?
Oh, my God. It was so bad.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't trust those people with like perfect parents. I'm like, no, you don't. But actually, Steven's parents are like pretty close. Like they like get along still. I'm like, what's happening?
Oh, yeah.
Are you guys real? Are you real life?
Yeah, but I didn't get
Why
on with
aren't
my
you
mum and dad
yelling
when I
at
was
each
a
other?
kid.
Yeah,
But now
right.
we do.
Why?
But we-
If they
I
were-
don't know, really. We just butted heads over lots of things.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I think you were like
Yeah.
rebellious.
Yeah,
they
I
were a
was
little more
rebellious. I wouldn't go
conservative
to
or something.
school. They wanted
Yeah.
me to go to school. I didn't want to go to school.
So, okay, so they were fighting all the time, and then when you were 6,
Yeah, my mom thought that I should start acting,
Yeah.
and then I did, and I was sort of good at it, I guess.
did you like it?
No, I never really liked it. I liked the feeling. I liked the rush after I felt that I had done a good audition, or if I had spent a day on set and felt that I had done really well. But I think
Yeah.
that's just the feeling of accomplishment or feeling like you're good at something naturally.
Totally.
But I was incredibly stressed out. I'd pee like 46 times before. Like if I was in the waiting room, I'd cross out my name, re-sign it in, like just a nervous wreck. I didn't enjoy
Wow.
auditioning at all.
Wow. So, and that's when you were a kid.
Yeah.
So you didn't like the auditioning, which is like so much of what it is.
Yeah.
It's probably 90%.
Yeah.
At least of what it is to be an actor, right? It's just constantly auditioning, and then sometimes you book a job.
Right.
So, okay, so you started auditioning, and your mom sort of, but did she do that with your brothers too?
So my oldest brother started acting also, and then he stopped because he was in high school at the time and just wasn't really interested, and,
Yeah.
and he completely stopped. But I kept going. I remember like crying a lot about not liking it, so I'm not sure. I just was so young. I don't really,
And what did when you told your parents that, like, what was their response? Like, what did?
When I'd cry afterward,
Yeah.
my mom would be like, "But you're so good at it," or
Yeah.
or,
Yeah. Totally.
I feel like similarly to like a lot of kids in sports, like
Yes.
I think a lot of times acting moms can be sort of demonized, but I think it's the same if any parent has their kid that they want their kid to succeed at something, and it's just like overbearing and overwhelming.
Totally.
Right.
Totally. Yeah. And so when did you book your first job?
I booked my first audition. It was for a Faith Hill music video.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it was like, I think it was helpful to have that. I always wonder if it hadn't worked out so easily right off the bat, if I just wouldn't have had the validation till like necessary to kind of keep going.
Yeah. So you booked that kind of early on.
Yeah, it was, my first audition.
Oh, your very first.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. I actually booked my first audition too.
Wow.
Which was a Spanish cell phone commercial.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Great.
And I didn't know what they were saying, and I literally had to dance with a cell phone. And I literally just remember I had to dance with a cell phone, and it was like Amino cell phones or something. I can't remember exactly
Wow.
the name. And I've never seen the commercial, but my friend who was in Spain was like, I just saw you on a commercial here. But anyway.
Wait, how old were you when you did that?
18.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you started
Yeah.
when you were 18?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I was doing commercials for years. That's how I made my living.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were you excited when you first booked it? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. But then I remember, like, I went through a phase of not wearing underwear, and I didn't
we
wear...
all had that phase. Yeah.
Right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, weird phase. Because now I just love the support. But I just...
I'm going through that phase now.
Are you? Right this second?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Too much. Way too much. Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. But I was so humiliated because, okay, so we went to the wardrobe fitting, and they were like, we really like those jeans. You're gonna wear those jeans. We love you in those jeans. I was like, okay, cool. So they picked a top for me, but it was my jeans that they wanted me to wear on set. And so, naturally, I go to the call time at 6 a.m. in my jeans that they said I was going to wear for the commercial. So I fucking wore them with no underwear because I was going through the no underwear phase.
Right.
And a wardrobe comes up to me like, director doesn't like those jeans. So we have this white skirt for you and this whatever white top. And I was like, oh, white skirt. Cool. But it was flowy, not that thick.
Yeah.
Right? And I have no underwear.
Right.
And I remember I had to have this really embarrassing conversation with the wardrobe, and I was like, oh, cool. So yeah, about this skirt, I don't have any underwear on. You didn't bring any underwear? No, I didn't. you didn't bring any underwear to set. You came to set with no underwear. Like, she looked at me like she was just so disgusted with my life decisions. Like, how could you? And then I think they like had some or whatever, and they lent them to me.
That doesn't sound good. Yeah.
No,
they just had some.
So I wore hers. No, they did. They had some, and I wore those. So anyway, but that's that. So okay, so you booked the Faith Hill, and then what?
And then auditioned for a couple things I didn't get, then booked like a Domino's commercial, and then booked an episode of Mad TV. Like, I'd say my booking ratio, which my mom always told me frequently, was probably like, I would say I booked like 20%.
That's really good.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, so you were like...
That sounds like is that a lot? That sounds like a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah. I felt like I was working a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
And have you always been funny?
I don't think I'm funny.
Really?
Yeah. No. I think I have a funny point of view on things, but and I find myself very more like serious.
Well, it's really interesting because like the videos you make on Instagram, I'm obsessed with them, and you don't know if you're serious or you're kidding, but like I kind of know.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people would be like, "Oh, is she completely serious or is this a character?"
Right.
Like it's just very subtle in the way you do it and dry. It's not so on the nose.
Yeah.
But to me, I think that's so hysterical.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. I love, I don't generally read the comments, but occasionally I do. And I like when people completely think that it's serious. I love that.
Totally.
When they don't get it. It's great.
Yeah. It's like, I did a good job.
Yeah.
They believe me. Yeah.
Yes.
So, okay. So you're booking. And then like so how was high school?
I didn't go to high school. So I hit a dry spell with
wow.
acting. This was like devastating to me. When I was 13, I didn't work for 8 months, and I thought like it was just brutal. It was such a rough time in my life. I already didn't want to turn 13, and I felt like, oh, I used to be good at it, now I'm not good at it anymore. I'm in this awkward stage. Like I suck at everything. What's going on? And I really, really wanted to quit, and my mom kind of kept pushing me and saying, don't quit, and this is good for your future. You're going to have money for college, whatever. So I stuck with it, and then fortunately started working again. But it was definitely like a really rough time. And then I booked something when I was almost 14, and then it was a series, and I didn't have time to go to public school.
Wow. So that was iCarly.
Yes. Yeah. I was 14.
Wow. So, okay. So then you didn't go to high school.
Yeah.
But you were working.
Yeah. We each had a studio teacher on set, but that's really not school. Like,
I didn't go to high school, and I also didn't book a job. So
wait, so you were acting?
No, I just did nothing.
Oh.
I just smoked a lot of weed.
Okay.
Like, I barely went to class.
Yeah.
I basically didn't go to high school, but I also didn't book a series. I just like got high and like occasionally went to class. So it's amazing that you're able to do both. So you had a tutor, but that wasn't really.
No, the requirement by SAG, I think, is like 3 hours a day for schooling, and for high school, that's just not good enough,
Yeah. So you didn't go to prom.
No.
Boyfriends?
But that's okay.
Did you have boyfriend? Yeah, it is okay.
Like, I don't know. I don't think that. Yeah, there's no part of me that was like couldn't wait for prom.
Yeah.
And I didn't date until, the Mormon thing kind of complicated the dating, but then I did have a boyfriend when I was 18. He was a writer's assistant on the show. He was 32, and it was a big source of tension between my mother and I.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
So she did not approve.
Not at all.
32-year-old.
Not at all.
And did she make it clear to him?
She made it clear to him, to me, and then to a fan club of mine that was online. She sent them like a letter saying how disapproving she was and asked them to post it, which they did. And I remember seeing it on Twitter and being like, "This is just insane." Yeah.
And did this cause friction between you and your mom?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Obviously.
Yeah. But it was further complicated because she had cancer when I was young, and then it returned again when I was 18.
Wow.
So she was sick, which is like, you can't have the mom-daughter like full out fights when she's ill.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I mean, So how was that?
I
I feel like you've just grown up really fast.
I mean, I don't know. I feel, yeah, I guess in some ways.
Yeah, in some ways.
Yeah.
But just, so you found out your mom was sick when you were...
When I was 18. So she didn't tell me. We shared an email account.
Yeah.
True to form with like the rest of our relationship and the boundaries issues. But I saw an email from her to my brother where she said that she was ill. And at the time I was doing like music and I was on the road doing like a tour for that. And I didn't understand why she wasn't going on the road with me because typically that would be something that she would do. And she said that she just had some health things that she needed to take care of. So then when I saw the email, I confronted her about it, and she didn't even like want to tell me initially that she was ill. But eventually, a couple weeks in, she finally told me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. And she did not survive?
No.
No.
She passed away, almost 5 years ago.
Wow. I'm really sorry.
Thanks.
Yeah, man. Fuck. So, and your dad, like, did that at all, like, help mend the relationship, or do you talk to your dad a lot? Or?
We were a bit closer for probably 6 months. My brothers and I were all closer with him for about 6 months, and then that just kind of was like, this is just uncomfortable. We all went to see Frozen together, and it was just painful.
You're like, guys, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Sorry about this dude. He's super creepy, right? And we have this floaty outside in the pool, and he creeps everyone out.
He's great.
Yeah, but he just like, I forget he's there, and I'm like, Jesus. But yeah. Okay, so homeschooled and dating the 18-year-old, mom disapproved.
Yeah.
And then how long were you with him?
On and off for 2.5 years.
And then what happened there?
And then I met a basketball player on Twitter who I was all about.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then were you just like, peace?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. And then the basketball player, how did that go?
It was very short-lived. It was a couple of weeks. And then that was actually around the time that my mother passed away, and I told him, like, I think I'm like in over my head right now. I just need to focus on this, and I don't want to be like seeing anybody, and I'm really overwhelmed. My mom's gonna die. And he'd be like, no, she's gonna be okay. And he didn't know she was in on hospice in the room next to me. She died right then, and I was like, no, she actually just died. Like, she's not gonna be okay.
Wow. Like on the phone call?
Yeah, no, we were texting, but yeah.
Oh my gosh, she just died.
Just kicked out. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. So what about iCarly, and then how long was that?
6.5 years. A very long time.
Yeah. And then you did a show.
And then I did a spin-off called Sam and Cat.
Yeah.
For I think it was maybe just a year. It was pretty brief. We just kind of did a bunch of episodes because they knew that age was an issue.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And what do you mean age was an issue?
Like, I was, 22 and playing like a 15-year-old or something, and it just was no longer working.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So right off the bat, they had said, like, we want to do just 40 episodes, and then we'll be done with it, and yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Fucking exciting life. No?
I don't know.
Because it's like all you've known.
Yeah.
But to an outsider, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, when you because you started at 7, and I always wonder about this, like, your career was sort of chosen for you, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? And you could have said, no, I'm not doing it. And fine, you wouldn't
can't
have.
when you're a kid, though, can you really?
Well, I don't know. Can you?
I was such a kiss ass too as a kid. Like, between the Mormon thing and wanting to please my mom, I was just like the most annoying, smiley, like anxious, not wanting to not please my mom person. So I would have never said, like, I actually don't want to do this,
even if you didn't want to do it.
Right. Like, I would cry sometimes, but that was as far as it got. And then yeah.
What do you think you would be doing if you weren't an actress?
I think, I was very entrepreneurial as a kid. I loved, like, starting up little business. I probably would have tried to start up some business when I was, like, a teenager or something. I enjoy that. I think that's really thrilling and a lot to, like, work on in a lot of different areas.
And do you want to keep acting forever? Do you feel like this is something?
I actually stopped. I stopped completely a year and a half ago.
Completely?
Yeah, I told my my representatives that I wanted to stop.
So after our conversation, you stopped.
Yeah.
Okay. 'Cause I was like, I didn't know.
You made me stop. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was great. Thank you so much.
Wow. I'm sorry. No, wait. Wow. This is huge news.
I
mean, I don't know. It kind of is. It's like you've done this thing for your entire life, and then you're done. I mean, that's a huge life change.
I'll tell you, I definitely worked through it in a lot in therapy because it was truly such an identity shift for me. I felt I would that's sob amazing. In my therapist's office, being like, I don't know who I am without acting. This is so scary to me.
Yeah.
And I had this idea that I was letting my mom down, and since she had died, and it was just all this shit, and I just thought, I don't want to do it. And finally, once I committed to it, I felt a tremendous amount of relief.
Wow.
For months, yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And then, so what do you want to do now?
I'd love to write and direct.
So cool.
Write and direct, I would say television, and then make my own passion projects on the side.
And you told me you wanted to show run as well, right?
Show run, not so much anymore, just from hearing from some of my friends' experiences. Yeah. That seems like a bit,
Doesn't it? I feel like I would just freak out every second.
There's a documentary about it on Netflix. Have you seen it?
No.
It's a show running documentary.
Yeah.
It looks like hard work. Yeah.
Wow. It seems so difficult to balance the nuance of everybody's ego at the same time, and then but also keeping things on schedule and yeah.
Totally. So are you writing anything now? What kind of stuff do you...
Yeah, now I'm writing a collection of essays. I finished the first drafts of those about a month ago, and I've been working on the second drafts, and it's just a real exhausting process, but it's something I'd wanted to write for a while. And that was sort of my departure from... I wrote 3 features last year, and I was just beating my head against the wall and wanted to do something else, so that this was a shift from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Was writing features frustrating then?
Oh my God, the most frustrating
just
thing.
Getting it made, or
no, just figuring out the story pieces of features. I just had no idea, and I'd write something and I'd think this is amazing, and then realizing that it's shit the time you read it 2 weeks later, and how awful it is, and writing too personally and not finding the story, and yeah, it's overwhelming.
It is, right?
Yeah. Do you write features?
I've written some pilots.
Okay, cool.
But I've never written I was actually trying to think, because I feel like throughout the years I've written so many scripts.
Yeah.
And no, never a feature. I remember I had an idea for a film, and this is when I was incapable of getting anything done. And I wrote 1 page of it. And I just brought it into my agent, and I was like, guys, check this out. And I read the whole first page, and they actually really responded well to it. They were cracking up. They were like, this is hilarious. Come read it to the lit department downstairs. And I was like, cool.
Wow.
And so I'm reading it to everyone in the fucking agency, and they're like, this is great. God, you got to write this thing. This could be big. And I fucking went home. I think I got to page 3. And they would just keep emailing me, how's the script coming?
Yeah.
Coming? And I just could not do it. I was so paralyzed with fear.
Yeah.
And literally, it was months went by, and then a year went by, and then they dropped me.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well, they dropped me because I was on a sitcom on Fox, and the show got canceled.
Okay.
And then I was on an MTV show, and it just wasn't making enough money for them.
Okay.
You know how if you're just not making enough money for them, sometimes it's just bye. Well, I think it was that, and probably the fact that I wasn't getting shit done on top of that. But
Wait, the MTV show was Disaster Date?
Yeah.
I heard you mention it with Brittany Ferland.
Yeah.
Do you know David Barton Harris?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I love David. He's great.
Yeah, he's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really, really funny.
Cool.
He was hilarious. We did a really funny episode where he was because the whole premise is you're on a blind date with a guy that
Right.
has no idea.
Yeah.
And there's hidden cameras everywhere, and you just make it the worst date possible. And I think my favorite episode of his he was like addicted to sneezing. He was like, oh, it feels like an orgasm, and he would just keep sneezing and just like making these orgasm noises after, but like really disgusting
Oh my
noises,
God.
and just for way too long.
Wow.
And he just kept making himself sneeze, and then I started doing it, and it just got so weird. I have to find that.
I want to
clip.
see. I'm so curious.
Yeah, because actually it kind of does. It is like a mini orgasm. Sneezes. They feel great, don't they?
I don't like them at all.
What?
You
You don't get like a
well, I'm told I'm
After
like
the
not doing them
signal.
right.
I'm indifferent.
You guys are like, what are you doing? Are
I'm
you
indifferent.
sneezing?
No, I don't think so.
Or
No.
are you sneezing with your vagina? Like, what are you? No, it's like it feels really good after. Is it not fulfilling? No. Oh, I love it. Yeah, you got to get into
Interesting.
that. Get into that sneeze.
Okay.
It kind of make you tingle? No.
Well, sometimes if I want to sneeze and I can't sneeze, it's really frustrating.
Of course
yeah,
it
that's
is.
terrible.
Just
Yeah,
like
that's
an
terrible.
orgasm.
Yeah, I
Just
hate
like
that.
when you want to orgasm and you can't. Super frustrating, isn't it? Right? Why do you get
stare
there
at
with
the
the
sun.
sneeze?
You can't stare at the sun and have an orgasm.
So you're telling me that you've never... I'm not saying it is the same thing as an orgasm. I'm saying it creates a similar sensation. At least that's what David was saying. But also, I did get what he was saying, that there is something that feels really good about a sneeze. Haven't you ever wanted to sneeze?
Yeah, but you look
Or
at the sun.
feel it and you feel like the sense of, kind of,
I sort of feel like it takes it out of me. Like after I sneeze, I kind of
just
feel
like an orgasm. Just like an orgasm.
Even that.
Takes it out of you. Need a little nap, don't you? You're exhausted. Maybe a cigarette. No? I'm making her so uncomfortable.
Making everyone
Boyfriend?
uncomfortable.
yes.
Yay.
My love. His
Your
name's
love.
Ari, and we've been together for almost 2 years.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like, okay, so you were newly dating when I saw you last night.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay.
Right?
I'm very like, yeah, I don't usually
Talk about
mention dudes that I'm dating for, I don't know, a while.
How'd you meet him?
Through a friend. We met a mutual friend of ours. His name's Rami Youssef. He's a really funny stand-up comic. I was really close with Rami when I was like 22, and Rami just thought we'd hit it off, so we all hung out and got dinner. And I was seeing somebody else at the time, but I thought the first time I met him, I was like, whoa, like something in my body was just like, I know I'm gonna know him.
Wow.
But an interesting thing was I felt no urgency. A lot of guys that I've dated in the past, I've felt a real urgency toward like them, like
Yes.
a pull that just feels like frantic, and I didn't like it. But with him, I felt like a peaceful sort of like, oh, I really like him, and we're gonna know each other really well at some point, but I'm
Yeah.
not gonna like push this at all, and just kind of see
Yeah.
what happens.
That's awesome.
And then so I met him when I was 22, and then we started going out when I was 24. Now I'm 26.
So, do you have any pets?
I don't. I've been dog hunting for a while, for about 5 months.
Oh, that's the. I
That's
love.
worked out.
It's fun, but it's not fun for you because you're not getting one. But it's a fun
Oh my
experience.
God, Steven. Not fun for you, because you can't seem to get one. Never works out for you, doesn't
I'm
it?
saying that it's fun to look for dogs. That's all I'm saying.
Not fun for you. We're having a blast with our dog and 2 cats. Don't have any of those either, do you? Jesus.
I didn't mean it like that. I meant it's
Not fun
looking
for you, is it? So what the fuck else? What is take me through your day to day? I'm just asking you so many questions.
Oh no, this question is always fascinating to me,
Okay.
especially in this town, like what people, how people fill their days.
Totally. Because we don't have normal jobs.
It's so strange. It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
So I usually try to write for 4 hours, and I do it in breaks. So I'll do like an hour, and then I'll do like a 10-minute break, then an hour, and I'm pretty like strict with that when I first wake up. And then after that, I just sort of like, I'll watch a movie that I think will be interesting, or like a Sam Harris. I'll listen to like a Sam Harris podcast, or just something that I feel like is somewhat stimulating and entertaining at the same time. And then my evenings, I'll usually hang out with my boyfriend.
Who's Sam Harris?
He's the I think he's a neuroscientist.
Okay.
He's that guy that talks with a really calm voice. He's got the Waking Up podcast. And it's very good.
Ooh.
I need to get into that shit.
It's really good. Yeah.
What was that one we heard about yesterday that everyone's doing? The morning. There's another program called The Morning.
This
Monday
is a
morning?
book, Morning Miracle. It's
Morning Miracle.
I don't know it. What is it?
I don't know it either, but our friend Kyle is doing it now, and he just talked about. I think he read like 5 pages, and he's like, "That's all I need to read. I know what I'm doing."
But he said
in
it's
the
changed
first
his
5,
life.
no, I know the first 5 pages have changed his life.
Yeah.
Imagine if he keeps going. It's he talks about the morning ritual and how they have you get up an hour earlier than you normally do, which like for me is a huge struggle.
Yeah,
I'm,
I sleep in.
Big sleeper. Yeah, it's very hard. Yeah, especially when you're your own boss. It's like my boss is like, "You're fine, sleep down." My boss is super creepy. It's super creepy. Take your pants off, Laura. You're not going anywhere. You're fine. Have you had enough Cheetos today? Get some Cheetos. But anyway, nobody cares. Okay. So, what was I saying? So, yes. So in this book, The Morning Miracle, is that what it's called?
I think so, yeah.
Yes. He talks about the morning ritual and like get up an hour earlier than you normally do, whatever that is. Get up an hour earlier, and in that hour to do like 10 minutes of meditation, 10 minutes of gratitude, and I'm not exactly sure what else is like affirmations or something, but it's just kind of creating that ritual. Which for me is helpful when I do it.
How are you with meditation and gratitude and all the sort of things out there?
So I'm kind of obsessed right now with walking. Like I'll walk down the hill, 1.5 miles down, and do these kind of breathing exercises, and then I make a gratitude list.
That's so nice.
It's really helpful for me. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, I think I told you that I'm sober. I'll have 7 years
That's
in
awesome.
October. Yeah.
Congrats.
And so it's like I really had to replace like drugs and alcohol and like my coping mechanisms with other things. And I sort of have to do that.
Can we get into that? Like how open are you with that?
Oh, yeah. I talk about it all the time.
I find addiction so fascinating,
Yeah.
and I super have an addictive personality, so I love to hear how other people like cope and handle it and sort of transition. What was it alcohol for you?
Yeah. So,
primarily?
and it's interesting you say like I have an addictive personality because I feel like most people are addicted to something.
Yeah.
It's just like, so, alcohol and drugs is a little more taboo, but there's also shopping,
relationships.
food, sex, relationships,
totally.
work,
yeah.
There's, it's endless.
Yeah.
And so, and it's really like, they say in AA, it's a spiritual malady, or it's trying to fill that hole in the soul with external things.
Right.
So,
that's so sad. Oh my God. That's heartbreaking. Is it really that? They say hole in the soul?
Yeah. Like,
my God.
Right, like you try to fill the hole in the soul.
Yeah.
With external things, and it doesn't really work. So you try to fill that hole in the soul with, weed or drugs, other drugs or alcohol or sex or shopping or work or whatever it is.
Right.
And then what happens too when you get sober? So for me, like alcoholism, I believe it's genetic. It runs in my family. I have a lot of alcoholism and drug addiction in my family.
Yeah.
And so I kind of saw what it looked like, and I didn't want that. And so I kind of caught it early. I think I could have kept going.
That's great.
I wasn't out on the street. I wasn't even drinking every day.
Yeah.
But it was when I was drinking, I couldn't stop. I couldn't just have one. It was very hard to have one. Once I had one, it released the phenomenon of craving, and I really needed that next one.
Right.
Or sometimes I'd be like, I'm fine, but I wasn't. And so it was beyond my mental control. I really released this craving. And they say it's a physical allergy too. Like you, how do you say it? You digest it in a different way.
Yeah, apparently, alcohol for alcoholics.
Oh, it's almost like
affects their body.
It affects their body differently. So I think it releases more dopamine or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
So and then.
Well, actually, they also say that people with addiction have less normally. So this just gives them a normal amount, and they're like, "Oh, I know how to live now."
I can function.
Yeah.
Like I feel okay now that I have this. And so, so it wasn't that I was doing it every day. And I think that's also a misconception that people think when they think of alcoholics. It's like,
Right.
You
wake up and
you drink. And Steven was like that, you know?
Yeah.
I just outed you. No, I'm just kidding. He talks
Oh,
about it all the
I
time.
too. Yeah.
Wow.
But I was the kind of
Yeah.
Oh my
I was a
God.
drug addict and an alcoholic. Still am. I still treat it, but yeah, I was every day drink. I would wake up, drink.
He
pass out
fucking
every
wake
day.
up and fucking
No
chug
kidding.
vodka
Yeah.
in the morning.
And
Would you think of like, was there a reason why? Was it just because you're so addicted to it, or was it like to? I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I think I was always an alcoholic, and then I just found alcohol, and that was it. I mean, I don't think because it
Right,
runs
right,
in my
right.
family too.
Right.
But it just felt like my solution. The minute I had a drink, I was like, oh, now I'm not scared of everything. Life's easy.
Yeah.
And then it just got out of control, and I couldn't stop.
Wow.
So it's a
yeah.
progressive disease. So
Yeah.
it's like at the beginning, it was you use it, you
Yeah.
self-medicate.
Right,
So
right.
It helps to,
Wow.
numb the fear and the anxiety of life, and you just kind of can flow through it, and you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
but then the addiction is progressive, so all of a sudden you need more and you need more, and then that one drink isn't working, so you need 3 drinks, and then those 3 drinks
Right.
aren't working, so you have to add a pill to it. For me, it was actually cocaine. Like that was my.
Are you serious?
Oh, I was like a full-on.
Shut
full-blown-
up!
Yeah. Like
Oh my God.
Yeah. Like towards the end, I would like literally call my dealer at 11 a.m. buy cocaine, do it by myself. I was very like, it was not about the party. It was a fucking
Wow.
And
Yeah.
and that drug for me, I think it's disgusting and horrible. I really actually didn't even like it when I was doing it. But it's kind of, you can get it legally. It's called Adderall. I mean, Adderall is
Right.
speed, but
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah, it's an upper.
stimulant.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
an upper. And I think I struggled so much with procrastination. I couldn't finish the scripts.
Yeah.
I was too scared to. And when I would do cocaine, I felt like I could keep writing and keep writing. I mean, everything I wrote was shit.
Right.
But
Yeah,
I would keep writing. Right. Oh, I got some good stuff. I got some really good ideas. Oh, it's gonna be mind blowing. You're gonna fucking love this shit. Oh my god. Yeah. But
Wow.
But nonetheless, it was like it made me feel more productive and. So anyway, I was just addicted to it, and I would say time and time again, that I was done. And
When did you first try cocaine?
when I was 15.
No
oh my God. Yeah.
way.
See, you're fucking like grew up Mormons. You're like, bitch, you crazy. No, but yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yes, I was 15. I went downtown. I grew up in a suburb right outside Chicago, and I would go out with my friends. We get fake IDs, and we go to clubs. I mean, young, 15,
Wow.
16 years old. And I remember this guy was like, hey, like there's... there were lines on the table, and it just felt so Scarface to me. I was like, oh my God. But I was like, no way. Like, I could never do that. That's crazy. Like, that's not a joint. That's cocaine.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a hard drug.
Yeah.
That's not socially acceptable. I'm not a drug user like that.
Right.
And then he was like, I think it just took him maybe like 3 times of like, come on, just try one line. Just try one
Right.
line. And I think after like the second
my
or third
God.
time that he was like, just try one line. I was like, all right. I had had some drinks,
Yeah.
And I remember I took one line and I didn't even feel high. I just felt less drunk
Yeah.
because I had been drinking.
Whoa.
And I did the line and it sobered me up. And I was like, oh, I'm fine. And then
Yeah.
I remember Holly, my friend Holly was with me, and I had went into the next room after I'd done that line, and I was like, hey girl, what's going on? What are we going to do later? I mean, what do you want to do? Do you want to come back to my house? Do you want to have a sleepover? She was like, what's going on with you?
Yeah.
Oh, she didn't know.
She didn't know
Oh,
I
I
had
see.
done it.
I
but
see.
And
I
you didn't
remember
feel, you just felt less drunk.
I didn't feel it,
So
but
interesting.
I clearly looked it because
Okay.
I remember the look she gave me. I'll never forget that look. She looked at me differently.
That's
She
so
was just
interesting.
like, what's wrong with you?
Well, so I, the first time, I don't know how many times I was in the same room as people doing cocaine, but the first time I saw like a line of cocaine on a table, I took a picture and sent it to like my 3 friends, my 3 closest friends at the time. We were all very Mormon-esque. None of them were Mormon.
Yeah.
But it just like blew me away to be in the same room as a line of cocaine.
I love that you were like, picture.
No way, cocaine. But I had a similar. I had a really complicated relationship with alcohol. I first started drinking when I was 21, and until probably 23, I would say it was just really, it was just a mess. Like
Really?
I had no idea how to drink or what to and because it had been such a no thing for so long. I had the thing where I just thought, oh, I'm not inhibited, and I don't feel anxious anymore.
Yes.
And I thought I was like so much more fun, but I really was not. But that was how it was for several years, and then I had a similar cocaine experience with Molly. I had tried Molly twice and thought it didn't do anything, but other people said otherwise.
But like, were you so happy at the beginning?
I stayed up till like 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it really does that, what is it, dopamine? No, serotonin.
Yeah, I think so.
It like gives you such high amounts of serotonin. So just everything, you're just happy. But the come down is horrible and it's terrible.
Yeah.
So you did Molly, and did you do that a lot, or just it was a phase?
I tried Molly twice.
Okay.
And then I tried weed. I gave weed a good go, but it was not for me because I would sob every time I had it. It was like really,
I've never
really bad.
heard that.
Oh, I'd weep. I'd weep, rock back and forth, and be like,
Wow.
I needed like hugs, and like it was terrible.
Wow. Was it paranoia? Were you like, I don't know?
I would say it was that level. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's what
probably tried it like
Yeah.
7 times. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
I hate weed. That's what it does.
Did you have the same? Really? Oh,
I
wow.
couldn't do it. Yeah, I just completely go to
There aren't many
pieces.
of us.
Right, yeah,
Right.
a lot of people don't, yeah.
I was envious that other people would seem so
know.
into this, and I thought I want that. Like I
Me
want that
too.
experience, but it just wasn't
Totally.
happening for
no,
me.
No, me neither.
Yeah,
No,
it's like
yeah.
super paranoid. Just
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Just what? Do I look crazy right now? What am I saying? I'm hungry. Just made me dumber and hungrier. Like, I don't need to be either of those things. But so drinking. So like it was a couple years,
Yeah.
and like and it helped with anxiety, whatever. But you didn't know how to do it because you had never done it. So then,
Yeah.
what was the breaking point there? Like, do you drink anymore sometimes?
I drink sometimes.
Yeah.
So I started doing like, that was another thing that I did a checklist for. I'd be like, I want to see what my life is like without this. And then I would go several months without drinking, and I'd think like, I definitely
Right.
don't have a problem. But then
Yeah.
I would drink like 4 drinks in one night, and that's just way too much for my size.
Yeah.
And I'd feel like, I'd wake up the next day and feel a lot of regret and guilt, and I didn't
Yeah.
like that at all. And then actually meeting my boyfriend was really so helpful with it because he told me, I don't want to be around you when you've had alcohol. I don't want to do it.
Really?
Yeah, and I to have that of like, it's somebody that I care about so much. I really must not quite recognize the shift that's happening,
Right.
because this is
Yeah.
somebody who is, he wants what's best for me and is telling me this. And then I just thought like, okay, no, I really need to cut this out. So now I'll probably have, like, the last time I drank was on Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really kind of definitely very spaced out.
Yeah.
That's great that you can control it like that.
Yeah.
I definitely still question. I sort of wonder of like, I'm a very black and white thinker.
Right.
So I wonder, saying like, I try not to say, I'll never have alcohol again.
Sure.
But I do think that's, I don't know if that's like what it takes, if that's
So-
sort of the necessary thing.
Well, we don't even say that in the program.
Oh, interesting.
You
Yeah.
say just for today. It's very much one day at a time.
Oh, wow.
Because to think
Yeah.
like I'm never gonna have a drink again is
It's
a
too
crazy
much.
thought.
Right.
And it's overwhelming for most people.
Right.
And you just never know, right? And so it's just one day at a time. Like for this 24 hours, like I'll get up in the morning and just ask God, who I have no idea what God is, but I pray anyway.
Yeah.
Because it just helps me. But, you
Wow.
know, power greater than myself, you know, the universe, whatever it is.
Sure.
Asked to keep me sober for today. And
Wow.
and that, you know,
So it's like a commitment every
yeah, it's kind
sort
of
of
like
morning.
an affirmation
Yeah.
every day of just, and
Wow.
that's the thing. It's like I don't feel. I mean, maybe some mornings I even skip it because I don't. The craving has gone.
Wow.
But what happens, like with a lot of alcoholics when they get sober, is that cross addiction. So, you
You pick
stop
something else up.
Right, you
Yeah.
stop one thing and then you find another
Yeah,
thing. So
yeah.
you're not drinking or using anymore. So
Yeah.
your life starts becoming more manageable, right? You get the job
So
back.
interesting.
Yeah, you mend the relationships. You know, you're doing good, but then all of a sudden some other thing creeps in to try and, fill that hole in the soul. So then
is it a matter of just finding something that's positive, like finding it positive addiction,
Yeah,
I mean, is there such
I
thing?
think so. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's replacing the negative with the positive, but it's also just making sure to, okay, so this is in AA, to sort of live by these spiritual principles. So that's, okay, some of them are be willing, lead with love and tolerance, forgive everything and everyone. That's a huge one. So they'll say, like, resentments are our number one offender. They're the first things that take you out. If you're holding on.
Resentment's a big one, yeah.
Right. And they're the first things that will take you out. So we have to, if we want to stay sober and have peace of mind, we have to become willing to forgive everything and everyone, even if it's a justified resentment, meaning you did nothing wrong. But holding on to it would be what they would say is what you're doing wrong.
Destructive, yeah.
It's
Sure.
Exactly. So it's like becoming willing to forgive everything and everyone has been huge for me.
Yeah.
Keeping your side of the street clean. So when you're wrong, make amends. As big or small as it is, to just keep your side of the street clean as much as you can.
So when did you start going to AA?
So like when I was 22 is when I first went to AA.
Good for you. That seems like so.
Yeah.
Were you the youngest one there? Oh, wait, I guess you can't.
Surprisingly, there's like some fucking 17-year-olds in AA.
Wow.
I swear to God, it's crazy.
Oh my God.
People are getting sober younger and younger now. Like it used to be when AA started and just when people started getting sober, it was like, no, you're on the street, you're drinking out of a paper bag. Like, that is when you're like, okay, I guess I'll get some help,
Yeah.
What maybe. But now people are recognizing that they have that lack of control.
Yeah.
They're recognizing that they have that and they're seeing these little destructions going on in their life. Or maybe it's just an internal bottom where it's like, you didn't lose the job. You didn't lose your boyfriend.
Yeah.
But you don't feel good inside. You feel that life is
a disconnect, a
disconnect.
Wow.
Yeah. Irritable discontent. You feel that life isn't, like for me, I didn't really, I lost some jobs here and there, but I was doing well. Like I was okay outside. You wouldn't know.
It looked okay.
Yeah. My friends were like, really? You're going to AA?
Wow.
Like they didn't know.
Wow.
They didn't know that I had a problem. But
then you would tell them. Is that part of it as well? Like sort of telling friends, or what's the...
You don't have to. Unless you're making amends, it is Alcoholics Anonymous. So it's like you don't have to tell anyone, but it does help to, I'm just open and honest about it.
Yeah.
Totally. And I think that there's just, I don't know, there's these stigmas around it. I'm sometimes nervous to tell people I work with because I don't know their views on it. And it's like, are they going to think I'm unstable? Because, I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, because I do feel like there's still stigmas around it. But
it's getting better, though.
It is. Yeah. I feel like more and more people are... We did a podcast yesterday, and we just found out 3 of the 4 people in there were in the room.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Were addicts in some way. One was addicted to weed. One was alcohol. Like, it was... We had no idea.
Wow.
But so I find it's...
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty common.
Huh.
But yeah, so 22, and then I went in and out for like a couple of years. Like I thought, oh no, I'm good. Like I'm young, I can do this.
Yeah.
Like all my friends are doing it.
Yeah.
It's fine. I don't drink every day. I'm fine. And then it just got to a point where really I wasn't where I wanted to be in my life. I felt like I had a lot more to give to the world. I felt like I really wanted to show and be funny and make people laugh around the world, and I wasn't able to do it the way that I wanted, and I felt that my addiction was getting in the way. Because every time I had an idea, I would get scared that it wouldn't work out, so I would drink or use over it, and then that idea would take the
So you think
shelf.
addiction was directly tied to fear then, it sounds like?
Totally.
Wow.
Yeah,
Totally.
That's what they say.
Oh my
the
goodness.
basis of addiction is fear.
Yeah, what do they
Wow.
say? You're crippled by a
That's
thousand
amazing.
forms
That's-
of fear.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Have you ever read A Course in Miracles?
No.
I think you'd really like that. It's Marianne Williamson.
Okay.
And her whole thing
Oh,
is...
it's a Return to Love, it's called, actually.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's
A
an
Course
amazing
in
book.
Miracles is like this huge workbook. And then Marianne Williamson broke that workbook down and wrote a book called A Return to Love.
The workbook
right?
sounds like I'm a super workbook.
Okay, so that's
Oh,
A Course in
like it.
Miracles.
Yeah.
It has a lot of very Christian language in it, but you don't. It's
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
but it's
Gotta
like
kinda
it's just
skip over
kind of
that.
Yeah.
yeah. It's more about the principles, but
Okay.
basically the Course in Miracles, right?
The Return to Love is a great book, though.
So it breaks it down.
Wow.
So if you wanted
Really
to
good
like
book.
even get I don't know if you like to read or audiobooks, but I like audiobooks and her voice is super soothing. And she kind of breaks down the book, and her whole thing is, or the book's whole thing is, there's only 2 states that you could be in, love or fear. And
Whoa.
every moment you have that choice to choose love or to choose fear.
Yeah.
And I just loved that. But there's more to it than that. What would you say?
That's the basics, but I mean,
Yes.
it goes in. It's just an incredible book. Like when I first got sober, my sponsor recommended that I read that book, and it kind of changed my life.
Yeah.
When did you first get sober?
I first got sober 14 years ago, and I had 10 years of sobriety, and then I went out again. So I'm 4 years back.
Okay.
Yeah, so I
Congrats.
started taking painkillers.
Okay.
and it just took me straight back out
Oh,
again.
my
Yeah,
God.
it was crazy.
It was
Wow.
crazy because
Crazy.
we were married.
We were together at that
and
time,
so
yeah.
I like
How long have you guys been married?
6 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So we met when we were both sober,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that was
yeah.
like very much something that
Oh my God, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
connected us.
Yeah, yeah,
was
yeah.
Like, okay,
Yeah.
and then, but it's a cunning, baffling, powerful disease.
I think I stopped taking it. I stopped taking the recovery as seriously as I did because I thought I've got 10 years. I don't need to worry about it anymore. I know how to do it. And I stopped going to meetings so much, and I didn't take it so seriously, and it just crept back in.
Wow.
And then it was like,
So it's about the practice of it and the consistency.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
Wow.
it's like very putting a lot of importance on the morning ritual. Like, okay, am I going to lead today with love or fear? Right, making that decision, and taking 10 minutes to meditate and connect, and doing those gratitude lists and keeping your side of the street clean and asking yourself, doing a daily inventory of yourself, just 5 minutes of,
Yeah.
was I in fear today? If so, what's a better way? How could I walk through this thing? Was I resentful today? If so, what is the cause of that resentment? What is it? What areas of my life does it affect? And what was my part
Wow.
in that resentment? Do I have a part in that? And if I do, and that part is, where was I selfish, self-seeking, dishonest, or afraid?
What is it? Selfish, self-seeking,
Dishonest, or afraid.
Whoa.
Isn't that crazy?
Whoa.
Isn't this
Oh my
mind-blowing?
God. Whoa.
It's this
Yeah.
little, and then it's also the inventory is like, what did I accomplish today? Was I of service today? That's a huge thing, is service.
The selfish thing, but I think I'm super selfish. Like
Yes.
I know I am.
Totally.
Like, what is that? How do you even
Oh my God, girl. You have to I had to retrain my brain, and I still struggle with that every day.
Wow. Is selfish not, this sounds so
Yeah.
cruel, but can't selfish be a positive in some ways, or is this operating under the assumption that selfishness is always sort of not a good?
Well, like even Oprah's like, I can't help anyone if my glass is empty. My glass has to be full before I can give to you. So in that
my
way,
cup runneth over. I've seen, yeah, totally,
That
yeah,
kind of
sure,
shit.
yeah.
So it's like
So she's talking about
self-care.
Yeah.
So yeah, which you can why can't I say that word? Misconstrue.
Yeah.
Miscon what?
Construe.
No, what's the last word the last letter in it?
Misconstrue?
Is it
Yes,
stru?
it is misconstrued,
Is it
definitely. I don't
misconstrued?
know what the last letter
Is
is.
it
E.
misconstrue?
Yeah.
Is it E?
Yeah.
Is it just misconstrue?
Yeah.
Okay, I say words wrong. Say words wrong. I do. Okay.
so funny.
So misconstrue. Yeah. I thought it was camouflage and so many other words. I said wrong. There's so many
Eyebrows. Didn't you say
I
eyebrows?
didn't say eyebrows. That was in
That's
was in
amazing.
an episode of something I did.
That's so
But
funny.
yeah, there's a lot of things. But yes, so self-care is important, and that can be misconstrued as selfish, right?
Yeah.
Self-care, taking time for yourself.
Wow.
But also, just did I call anyone and ask them how they were doing today? Right?
Yeah, sure.
And it really is so much. Like, think about the times when you're feeling depressed and
Depleted and
depleted
empty,
and
sure.
empty and anxious.
Yeah.
oftentimes when I'm feeling that way, I'm thinking about do, re, mi, 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 mi. You know?
Wow.
Right? It's like I'm thinking about me and why didn't this go the way I wanted it, or what am I gonna do? It's about me when I'm feeling depressed and anxious and less than. When I'm calling someone else and saying, you know, either it's helping a newcomer to get sober, or it's calling, you know, my friend and just asking how she's doing today and just asking about her. You know, anything, giving $5 to a homeless person on the street, just every single day, doing something, being
something
of service
outward,
in
right?
some way.
Right.
Well, they say in AA you're supposed to do two things to help someone every day, but and then not tell anyone. And that was what I found really hard.
Yeah.
You do something good, you want to tell everyone.
Broadcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Megaphone. I helped.
Why did I do that? I can't tell anyone about it.
Yeah, it's like
That's so funny.
It's like when you see like the social media influencers like with their fucking iPhone like going up to a homeless person with Taco Bell or Burger King.
My
like,
dear
man,
God.
here, take this Whopper. Take this Whopper. No, man, take it. Take it. No problem.
Oh my God.
Love you, man. Did we get that? How's my lighting?
Dear Jesus.
But you know what I mean? It's fine.
Yes.
Whatever, because I guess I shouldn't judge, and like maybe that influencer documenting their charitable act will inspire others to do that.
Yeah.
So maybe it is a good
Or maybe it's
thing.
the only thing that gets them to do it.
Yeah, right,
you know?
yeah.
Totally.
Like, yeah.
Either way, dude still gets a sandwich. So we're good.
Wow.
But yeah, so service is a part, and that is something, because I feel so much that way. Like my mom is the most selfless person, and I feel like it's just in her to just always be helping other people. That's,
right.
You know, and I wasn't that way. I was very selfish.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely is a discipline. But whenever I do it, so they say contrary action. So that's another tool.
Okay.
It's like, you don't want to do it, but you take contrary action. So, and you just
do it regardless.
You just do it because it worked for so many other people that, okay, all right, I'll take these little tips and I'll try, because my way didn't really work that way.
Yeah, sure.
So I'll try your way.
Wow. Another thing that you were talking about with Brittany was it was so hilarious. You guys were talking about panic attacks. I had a panic attack while listening to you guys talking about panic attacks. Stop it! And tears started like spilling down my face, and then I thought, I'm going to take a picture of this to show her, and I thought, that's insane. I need hands on myself right now. This is like so fucking crazy.
Oh my God, I wish you did that.
But yeah, so that's another,
So our podcast gave you a panic attack.
Hearing about them was an inciting, Do
Have you had them
get
before?
Oh,
yeah.
So you get them too.
Yeah.
Another one.
Yeah.
We've had so many
she
people.
had one
Yeah.
while
What is
she was
this?
listening to the
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I had no idea that this was like, I felt like I was nuts.
No.
When I would have them and I'd be like, why? I'm crying and I don't know why I'm crying and it's
Yes.
happening and I'm like shaking.
Yeah, and you think you think you're the only one.
Yeah.
We just interviewed Moby 2 days
Same
ago. Panic attack.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
All damn day.
Wow.
Yeah.
How often do they happen for you?
You know what? I stopped getting them when I got sober.
Wow.
Swear to God.
Wow.
I don't get them. I used to get them bad.
Yeah.
You remember the spider? I was like, spider! It was bad. It was bad. And I swear to God, I don't know why, but I still get anxious from time to time for sure, but I don't get the attacks like I used to.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but they used to happen, I don't know, once every 6 months or something like that, or twice every 6 months or something, but they haven't happened in years.
That's so great.
Yeah, I think I'm just a little more leveled out. I still have my ups and downs for sure, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But what about you? How often do you get them?
I would say probably every other month.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you like, when did you start getting them?
I started getting them when I was, I think, 15. And you know what?
Yeah.
At the time, I thought it was just because the show that I was on was getting really popular.
Yeah.
And I thought that it was like a result of the pressures of like going places and people kind of coming up to me and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then as that died down and it was still happening, I was like, oh, I was blaming it on that the whole time. And no, this is still happening.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just alone in my apartment. It's still going on.
And what do you think, like, what are your thoughts on that? What do you think causes it? Is there anything that you feel or does it just happen?
I wish I knew. So
Yeah.
now what I try to do when I feel them overcoming me is I'm a super like analyzer, and I would try to break them down and problem solve in the moment. And I try to think of like, where did this come from? What was my last thought that led into the first feeling that I had, and just like breaking it down on a very legitimately OCD level. And then I thought, oh, that's not working, and my therapist suggested that I just sort of take it on as like a wave and don't try to assess it, don't try to analyze it, and just be there with it in the moment. And that was more helpful. I noticed that they would go down quicker, and I wouldn't get quite so the tinglies in the hands and the clenched. It wasn't quite so intense, but still intense.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy, man.
Someone told me once, another handy thing is like, if you remember that you had one before and it didn't kill you.
And you got
Yeah, exactly.
totally.
Yeah,
Wow.
that
It's
was
the
good for
first
me,
one
just
that
to-
you
yeah.
think you're gonna
Yeah.
die.
Yeah, you're like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah, the first one, it's like, oh, this is it. I'm a goner.
Yeah.
Because your heart's like, but
Yeah.
then,
Did they run in your family?
depression more so.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Same.
But yeah, really. Yeah.
Mom, grandma. Yeah.
Yeah, my
Yes.
grandma,
Oh.
yeah. that's
Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe I'm super delusional, but I just like refuse to believe that. I mean, even though alcoholism is genetic, I have that. So I'm not like, I don't think I can combat all the things that run in my family, but I feel like there are tools and that I can overcome. Like I used to get really depressed and just wouldn't do anything for days. And I just refused to do that anymore. And who knows, maybe there'll be a time where I'm like, fuck the world and go back to bed for a couple days or whatever. But I don't know. I just don't want to accept it. Like I want to just think that there are ways out.
Yeah.
There are tools and there are ways out. And that I don't have to live in that depressed place for as long as I used to. That's it.
Wow. How long
You
would
know?
it like take you out for?
I don't know. I mean, couple days of just not
That
doing
sucks.
anything.
Yeah.
It's just letting those negative, because I talked about this the other day. I used to like write negative affirmations, like I'm not enough, I'm a piece of shit.
Why?
Why? That was what was going on in my brain. So I was writing. I would just write what was going on in my head.
Oh, just to put it down. Oh, wow. Yeah.
But now it's like I do the opposite. And I write affirmations, and I think about, I've trained my brain to focus more on what I want rather than what I don't want.
Sure.
Spend my energy thinking about
On the positives and everything.
on the positives and being grateful for what I do have and not what I don't. It really is just an amazing tool. So I don't know. Progress, not perfection. That's another term they use.
Yeah.
Progress, not perfection. You just kind of do the best you can every day.
And then can you
Yeah.
still go now? You can still like show up to the meetings if you want to, or is there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently there's no graduation. Like you have to, like I go to meetings with women who are 40 years sober. I go to a meeting down the street. It's like literally me and a bunch of like 75-year-olds. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
And they've been sober for fucking 40 years, 50 years. And
Wow.
they come every single week, and they've been friends for decades, and they've been through everything together, and it's amazing. And they get through challenges together, and they help each other. And whenever someone's distraught or anxious or depressed, they call the other one, and they just have trained themselves to just call the other one and say, this is how I'm feeling. All right, try this, try that. Have you tried this? Or just talk to me. And it's that whole thing of not being alone, not being isolated.
Wow.
So the meetings help to kind of not live in that isolation, which is so natural for me too.
What do you think of how everything? I feel like everything on social media is now talking about anxiety and depression. I think that it's good in some ways, but also it's constant. It seems like it. I mean, everything is
Interesting.
That.
What do you like everything meaning what? Like memes and
memes. Either making jokes of it or being serious about it, or I just feel like it's the conversation. I mean,
like you think it's almost giving it power.
I think that's
Right.
exactly the thing that I wonder.
More people are sort of going, oh well, I have it too. And
Me
I
too.
have it too.
Yeah.
This is the way. It's not trendy, but it's like
That's what it
Yeah.
feels like in some ways to me.
Yeah.
And I think like, well, what's the is there a solution? Is it like, how do you share but while also not romanticizing it in any way?
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good
that's
thing.
a good point.
Romanticizing it
Yeah.
of like, I'm crazy. Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't like to define myself as anxious or depressed. Like, I've struggled with that in the past, but
Sure.
but I think that there are things that you can do to combat that. Like, presence is the main thing.
Wow.
Have you read The Power of Now?
No.
I think you'd really love it. It's Eckhart Tolle.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and he talks about how he believes our natural state is bliss.
Wow.
He believes our natural state is quiet mind, loving heart, a blissful state, and that people spend the majority of their life, 70% of their life, thinking about the future
Yeah,
or
yeah.
the past. What's going to happen or what did happen.
for sure.
And that
Yeah.
causes anxiety and depression. So he believes that the only way to attain real inner peace and bliss is through being right here, right now. He's this German dude. He's like, be right here, right now.
He looks like
Everything
the guy
else
from
is
Indiana
an
Jones.
illusion. Yeah,
Right.
a little bit.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's all about being right here, right now. And he thinks that's it. And so to live your life present.
Wow.
And that will sort of, that's his theory. And I think it's so fucking accurate.
Yeah.
It's just getting there. How can you have to constantly be bringing yourself back to the moment. Or if you're visualizing, you're thinking of a film idea or
Sure.
whatever it is, okay? So you say, okay, for the next 30 minutes, I'm going to use my imagination and think about what I want this thing to be.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, you're being present because you're mindful of
Right.
that.
Yeah.
You know, or I'm going to think
Instead
about...
of this needs to be, this should be, this da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Or like if you want to plan your week. So you say, okay, for the next 20 minutes, I'm going to think about what I have to do this week. It's not just like you're constantly in the future of like all the things you have to do and then you're not in this moment.
Yeah.
You can plan your week while being present, if that makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And then like when you're cooking, focus on the carrot. Just be here now. It's harder than it sounds.
Yeah.
But I do
Oh my
think
God, yeah.
that could probably help that anxiety and that depression that so many people
Yeah.
seem to. I mean, that's like the main comment I get on, when people send messages is like, I suffer from depression or I suffer from
Yeah,
anxiety.
we
And
get
like
a
your
lot.
videos help, but like everyone's depressed, it feels. I
Right.
think you're so
Yeah.
right.
Right.
It's just
It's so true.
everywhere.
Yeah.
It's fucking
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
So what's your theory?
I don't know. Like, I would be shocked if somebody said, like, I don't have it, but I
Right.
still enjoy. Like, I
Yeah.
would just be, like, knocked off my feet. I would have no
Right.
idea. Yeah, I do. I think that I worry that it's a bit trend. I feel so. I don't like to say this because I would not want to
Right.
pull away from anybody's legitimate struggle.
Totally.
But I am concerned that it's like a trendy thing and that it's
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like we're talking about mental health, but like, are we talking about it too much?
Right.
Right, yeah.
Like, what did your
Interesting.
therapist say when you, like, he wouldn't even, when you said you were depressed, he was like, don't say that.
He
Or, like,
kept telling
he was
me
like,
not to
do
say
shit that
it.
makes you happy. Bye.
Yeah, it's pretty
Interesting.
much. Yeah, he's like, don't identify with it. Don't say you're depressed. It's
Don't let it
like-
own you.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yeah, just say. What is it he said to me? Like, say up until now I've been depressed, but not anymore. Like,
Wow.
Yeah, up until now this is how I've been feeling, and always preface it with that. It did
Wow.
help actually. Just those ways of talking to myself differently definitely helped.
My therapist had me do a thing of worry postponement, which I found somewhat helpful. I would say I have like just kind of a running anxiety. Like I don't know. It's an ongoing struggle. But
Yeah.
with the worry postpone, it was the closest I came to like going, oh, okay, I'm going to worry at 6 p.m. tonight for 15 minutes, and I can just throw all my worries in the bucket
that.
then. Yeah. And it was,
Hilarious.
and then I could write it down and then even like rate the worries afterward, and then I'd take them in and we'd talk about them. But
Oh, wow.
that was somewhat helpful. Yeah.
So, like, every time a worry came up earlier, you're like, oh, that's for later.
I got it later. I got it covered.
I don't have to worry
Wow.
about that now. I
Mm-hmm.
love that.
Yeah.
I'm stealing that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's
I'm gonna
great.
use that shit.
And then also a lot of them I feel like wouldn't even recur. So then I'd find out the things that I was really like the stream of worries that's kind of
Yeah.
ongoing
Right.
would show up at 6 p.m. and all the other like little side things wouldn't.
Wow.
Definitely.
I
gonna
love
do
that. So how often do you go to therapy?
Once a week.
And have you been going for a long time?
I've been going since my mom died. Well, since like a year and a half after my mom died.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you find it helpful?
I think it's so, I wish everybody did it. I think it's amazing. I think it's so helpful. I think it's so important that you find a therapist that's a good fit for you.
Yeah.
And a type of therapy that's a good fit for you. But otherwise, beyond that, I think that there's something for everyone in it.
I went to therapy and I've gone kind of on and off. We went to couples therapy for a bit.
Yeah.
But I didn't really like it that much. I feel like
met some weird
Geraldine
people.
was like high as
Yeah,
fuck.
I felt like she was high too.
She was
Yeah,
so
she's like,
fucking stoned the whole time.
Oh
Wasn't
my
she so
God.
high?
Yeah.
Her eyes were like barely open. She was like, "So how's your relationship doing?"
Oh my
She
God.
was,
She was like, "Oh, what? Xanax? What? Who said what?" Like, it's just so ridiculous.
Oh my God.
But that's her. I mean, there were other. Oh, and then we had this other one.
Oh my God.
What was her name?
Paulette.
Yes.
I never forget. She was
like,
She was literally like
she was probably like 80 years old, and she was like, "I'm an actress. I mean, I do this therapy thing, but really, I'm an actress." Like, never had acted in her
She was
life.
crazy.
You know, she's like, "Can you get me an agent?" Like,
Oh
no,
my
no.
God.
Laura loved it because she was so
She was
crazy.
so
she
fucking
would drag
crazy. I
us
was like,
there
"This is
every
a
week.
great character."
We gotta study her. Yeah.
She's like, "Well, I can do this thing called walking, and it's a very special skill that I have. And basically, if you tell me, no, don't even tell me about your dad. I'll be able to walk him, meaning I will talk like him, I will walk like him, I will become your dad. It's an energetic thing that I can do. It's a gift." And she fucking, and I was like, "Okay, cool. So walk my dad." She would walk people, right?
And would you be like, yes, no, as she would like adjust her character? How would it work?
No. She didn't want notes. She was like, "I know how to walk your dad. Like,
She was
I know
convinced.
how to become your dad.
Yeah.
Right? Like, just let me do it, because I can pick up with these energetic vibes or something, and like, I know how to walk your dad."
Oh my God.
Even though she's never met my dad, nor do I think I had talked about my dad at this point. And so she was like, "Man, she did just this horrible impression of my dad, and it wasn't accurate. It just wasn't anything like my dad."
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I was just like, "Oh God, this is amazing. I'm going to keep going to her and paying her, because it just keeps getting
She
better."
told you off for wearing shorts as well once, I remember.
Yeah, she thought my shorts were too short.
Okay.
She basically slut shamed me. She was like, they go up so high. Wow. And she like still had issues with her ex. Like, she had not gotten over. I think he cheated on her or something. And but 20 years ago or something.
Yeah.
But the point is, she would spend like half our appointment talking about it.
What is why should you know that? Oh my God.
Oh, I knew everything.
What?
Good point.
I was her therapist.
It
Okay?
sounds like it, yeah.
Literally, she went into, she was like, "And Richard just fucking lied again. He said he was going to call at 7, never fucking called." She's like, and then she would like stare at Steven, and she was like, "Did you tell Laura that you were going to go to breakfast with her, but you didn't?"
Yeah.
She'd be like,
She loved
ha-
you, hated
because
me.
she hated men.
She used to go off at me.
Oh, she went off at you all the
Oh, my
time.
God.
Because she, it was very clear. Because then she'd be like, "Richard did the same thing." Like it was all about like unresolved issues that she had with her husband. Because when she would bring it up, she'd get real heated.
She was the worst.
And like she like would scream at Steven. It was really funny. So we kept going.
I didn't want to go,
Oh
but
my
you made me.
Oh, it was
God.
so fun. You just never knew what you were going to get.
How long did you go?
Years.
That is wild.
I don't know, maybe like 8 or like 6 months or
Wow.
something like that. But yeah, I mean, there were some good things she said, but I don't know. But then I had, like I said, I had a really great therapist, and
Yeah.
and then I was just like, "I'm better, I'm fixed, I know everything," and then stopped going, But I don't, so I should probably go back. But AA does help,
Sure.
I don't feel like I'm completely dry. Like I feel like I do have, someone to talk to about, whatever's going on.
Yeah.
And things like that. So, look at us all taking care of ourselves.
Yeah.
What else? What's your biggest fear? That's loaded. You're like, spiders.
I feel like the way that people answer the fear question is the like you've either got the people who answer it with failure, you've got the people who answer it with the ocean.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. Like,
Maybe death.
It goes yeah.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 kind
Yes.
of, and then it's like okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Ocean. There's some pretty scary things in the ocean.
So you're ocean. You're ocean. I'm death. Are you failure?
Yeah, I think so.
Isn't that
There you go.
hilarious?
We covered all
Yeah.
the bases.
That's so funny.
Yours really dead?
Hell yeah.
Well,
Definitely. I haven't really come to terms with that. Yeah. Yeah.
there's a very dense. I read like 20 pages of it, so it's called "The Denial of Death" by Ernest Becker.
Ooh.
And it is actually this is a terrible suggestion because you won't enjoy reading it at all. Yeah, ignore it completely.
Wait, no, tell me.
He just talks about how the fear, like the denial of death, the denial that someday we're going to die is what dictates all of our choices. And it's like 400 thick, like annoying pages on that, which is why I only read 20.
But isn't confronting death a good thing? So it's going to mean we're going to make more courageous choices?
I think so. Like, or the whole, like, thinking about, working backwards from your death and thinking what you'd want to be, what you'd want people to say about you or whatever. Like, I think that stuff sounds hopeful.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like, I'm scared of it, but I also, I mean, my shirt says, I'm not dead yet.
Yes.
So, I mean, I know it's coming. And I think the more that I actually just accept it every day, then, you do sort of want to overcome fears because you know your time here is so short. So, I don't know. But, I think there is this big denial. We just think we're going to live forever. It's trippy. What do you think happens when you die? No idea. Who knows?
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. Doesn't seem good.
Yeah. I have some questions from some Fannios. It's from some crunch holes.
I love that. Crunch holes. I
Just
love
a bunch of crunch holes.
Yeah.
Oliver, you're a crunch hole. You actually are crunchy. Disgusting.
Do you, CrinCon3 says, do you have any hidden talents?
I wish I did. I wish I had something. Let me think. No, I don't think I have any. I wish I did.
They're all out there.
Do you?
Yeah, I can put my thumb all the way. I have a double jointed thumb.
Oh my God.
I have a double jointed thumb.
That's so freaky to me. Oh my God, it's so uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable.
See?
Dear God.
Get a zoom in on that shit.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my
Zoom in
god.
on that shit. That's right.
That's
Don't try this at
intense.
home, kids.
That is creepy.
So basically, I'm taking my thumb and I'm pulling it all the way back to the backside of my.
Wow.
I know, right?
Ow,
Creepy.
my God.
But kind of sad that that's my only talent. My hidden talent. Steven, do you have a talent?
No,
hidden
not
talent?
a hidden talent. I'm trying to think. No,
No?
I don't think so.
Fuck is wrong with you people? Okay. Socially Awkward Club says, how was it working with Nickelodeon?
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's the most, let me think of the most honest way. Okay, totally honest, I did not like it. I found there were certain people, certain network representatives who I really clicked with, and I felt just like a connection with them and thought they were great. But as a whole, I did not think it was a healthy environment for kids. I don't think that even just like child labor laws were adhered to.
Really?
I thought it was really not great.
So, like, they overworked the children, or what?
Yes.
What were some specifics?
Yeah, and overworked, and also while wanting, and also not really. And I don't know what the environment is there now. I know there were a lot of like shakeups with the people at the top, so it very well could have just been coming from whoever was in charge then at that time, but it was like not really any like choices for the kid. It's very much like this is who you're going to be for us, and it's going to be this way. And already at such a strange, awkward age, when you're like trying to come to terms with who you are and figure out who you are, it's really uncomfortable to be just kind of constantly told what you're to say and what you're to do and how you're to behave, and like all that is just, it's very overwhelming.
Wow.
Interesting, yeah.
Interesting, honest answer. Oh, I have a question. How was the experience on Eric Andre?
So bizarre.
Yeah, like I want to know, how much did he say? Did you know the extent of this kind of insane sort of?
No, I didn't know anything going in.
You weren't filled in at all.
I had seen some clips from the show, but I didn't know what to. I didn't know what to expect. What it was going to be like on the day. I think the whole thing lasted probably 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it was trimmed down to, but definitely like maybe a tenth of that. So it was a long time. The lights. I remember the lights being really, really hot. I felt so sweaty. His breath smelled really bad, and he intentionally like didn't brush his teeth, I guess, to make it more uncomfortable for the guests. Yeah, I mean, I think he's super funny, and I think that's such, his show's super cool. But I guess I wasn't as uncomfortable. I definitely wasn't as uncomfortable as I could have been. Like I've been I was more uncomfortable on like traditional late night shows than I was on that.
That's interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, because I felt like, I don't know, the pressure of like the anecdote and saying the thing, and like that is just, I'll sit there and just, watch him do his thing for a while, and that's
So it didn't
more
really
comfortable.
faze you.
No, and also I would say I would know by after the fact, like if I was analyzing a lot later that night or something and thinking like, how'd it go, what happened, but that didn't, I didn't really think about it afterward.
Yeah. I was just always so interested because I didn't know how much he filled in the guests as to what a shit show it was. You know what I mean?
Right.
'Cause he's just so insane.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But that's crazy, like, that he didn't brush his... Oh, my God.
Yeah. And then I ran into him at a CVS, like, 6 months later, and it was so nice and totally, not, like, out of character, and, yeah.
Oh, wow. Like, after the show, was he out of character?
He was so nice. Yeah, he was like, thanks for being such a great sport. Like, we had a lot of fun with you. It was awesome. Yeah.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just always curious about that. Because I love those kind of shows are like Between Two Ferns.
Oh, my God.
I'm obsessed with that kind of awkward, kind of cringe comedy.
Me too.
Oh, I just love it. Mm-hmm. It's so good. Mm-hmm. Oh. Okay. And Theo 17 says, "Who are you dating?"
My boyfriend Ari, who we talked about.
Ari, shout out to Ari.
My crush. Can't wait to squeeze ya.
Your great crushy crush.
I love him.
Worst date story?
Worst date. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a good worst date story.
Okay.
A guy showed up at my house and he was wearing, I think it's a beret where it sort of like folds at the front,
Yeah.
And it didn't suit him. It was really bad. And we weren't like far enough I couldn't like say that I didn't like the hat. And this is just after my mom had died. So I had a bunch of vases of like flowers.
Yeah.
So I intentionally, like, this is crazy, but I intentionally knocked over a vase of flowers and knocked his hat in the dirty flower water so that he wouldn't wear the hat. In retrospect, like, I don't know what I was thinking. Why I wouldn't just say like, dude, you're not gonna wear that hat out. Like, you can't go. I should have said that. I would like to think I would now, but
no way. Knocking it over is much easier.
The like extreme planning that I like went into the bathroom and thought like, how am I gonna do this? What can I do? Oh, great, flowers, dirty water, hat. Done.
And you just how did you knock it over again?
He was like tying his shoes or something.
Yeah.
The flowers were already, I like knocked over the flowers and then I knocked his hat off while he was like doing his shoes. I was a very quick, like 1, 2, 3 in succession sort of
That
thing.
is so fucking funny.
It's amazing.
And how was the date after that?
It was fine. It was fine. It was not great.
Isn't it funny what we'll do to avoid confrontation?
Yeah.
Like, you'll go in the bathroom straight up and be like, how can I get this hat off the guy without him knowing that I don't like this fucking hat?
Exactly.
Like, how can I do it? I know.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, it's so funny.
Yeah.
What lengths we'll go to avoid confrontation.
Yeah.
Or to avoid that uncomfortable moment of having to just say, like, I don't like your hat. Because you don't want to hurt their feelings.
Yeah. And then I was like, well, this sucks because I'm feeling like embarrassed about this guy's hat. It doesn't, like, this is absurd. Like, why am I mean, I would have been sitting through the entire dinner just like, God, who's looking? Like, what's going on?
But I think you did the right thing. I really do. Because imagine if you came with your nice new hat on and you were like, hey, John. And John was like, that hat. We can't go to dinner with that hat on. I would be like heartbroken. I would be really embarrassed and I'd feel insecure and embarrassed. So you saved him that shame by knocking it off.
Interesting. You know what? This story, it actually kind of comes full circle because this past Christmas, I was visiting my brother and sister-in-law in New Jersey, and my sister-in-law has a sister. She went into the bathroom to get ready. We were going to go looking at Christmas lights. She comes out in like a hat that I didn't like. But I lied and said, like, that hat is so cute because I don't know. I just thought, like, she seemed excited to be wearing the hat. I didn't want to rain on her parade.
Yeah.
And then my sister-in-law is coming out of the bathroom and she's like, oh my God, take off the hat. You can't wear that to go looking at Christmas lights. And yeah, I'm wondering now if that's kind of the go-to.
I was really hoping you were going to knock that hat and just support it.
Somebody else died. There were more flowers knocked over the vase.
But were you just like, whoa, how did you do that? How did you just say take that hat off?
I thought I was devastated by her sister's expression.
Right.
As I literally watched her heart shrivel as she just kind of took the hat off. I thought it was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It was so sad.
It also, I know. It also depends on the relationship, though. Like,
That's
the
true.
first date,
That's
like,
true,
you're
that's
not
true.
there yet,
That's
right?
true.
But, like, a sister, you can be like, take the fucking hat off. I mean, you know, like...
It's gotta go.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much
yeah, it
for
was
coming.
amazing.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was so much
This
fun
was
talking to you
so
guys.
awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like we got really deep, covered a lot of stuff, had a lot of good laughs.
Yes.
And we stayed present. We stayed right here, right now.
We did.
Love it.
Because this is all we have.
Love it.
Everything else is an illusion. Okay, cool.
Bye.
We did it!